Hello everyone, good morning. The best wishes to all greetings young creators. Before getting into presentation, it will be nice for me as the group leader to introduce my members first. The first is myself. My name is Stefan Sari Simbolon. The second is Laila Kamal Ustaf. The third is Muhammad Rizky Hamdani. The fourth is Nadira Jalfa Afria. My intention and objective here is to carry out the English assignment, namely presentation with the theme, a design brief, and interpreting into design. What does design mean? Design is a design that is done before the creation of the object, system, component, or structure, and is done with creative and planned idea. In this design science, someone creative is needed to make design work. In this modern era, millennials have developed and are involved in the design work, including the product design, banner design, manual design, and the continue. Starting to use copyright, namely the copyright of someone work, which means not just the people use. A design brief is a written document outlining the design project aims, objectives, and milestones. It is a crucial part of design process, as it helps develop trust and understanding between the client and the designer. It is important as a contract and serves as an essential point of reference for both parties. It ensures the important design questions are personally discussed before the designer starts work. Depending on the scope of the work and the expert involved, the brief can consist of a multitude of elements, each detailing and describing the specific part of the scope. We need creative brief and creative briefing if we have the problem that we want someone to solve. It is simple. We write the brief when we have a problem to solve, meaning the creative output will be solution to already existing issue. And we only write brief if someone else does the creative execution. Any other case is not a brief, but memo.
Who is the target audience? The target audience for design work can be more specific because designs are made for a specific purpose, such as social media ads, digital, brochures, billboards, banners, ads. So the target audience description is the appropriate for the design work. Where to find the inspirations? We're looking for ideas and inspirations based around the key elements we've pulled out of the brief. For example, if we've been asked to come up with a design concept for a new English courses for the secondary markets in Latin America, we will go to this market by looking at materials that are already available, combining details and popular culture. Sometimes we'll use design websites like Pinterest, but for this is for tribute confidential boards and use this as a space to keep ideas and visual influence.
When we can build a design brief? The pro tips for build design brief is get the administration or clearance done before you start working. After that, the client sends a formal agreement to cover it in the form of a work contract, work order, purchase order, etc. Then, always send the recapitulation result of the discussion or meeting from each stage and revision. Also, ask for feedback from the client. Make sure the budget, deadline, and terms of payment are agreed by both parties. When you're given a design brief from the client, it depends on the particular client as to how much the information. And you really want to make sure that you ask them lots of questions. You can do via phone, Skype call, or email, But either way, you want to make sure that you've got a good understanding of what they want.
Project description, a source description of what we need to do, such as what do we know about the text, what is expected, a new design, a new idea, an existing site to redesign. What problem do we need to solve with it? This has to be one sentence at maximum. And the project scope, here's where you need to provide a bit more detail depending on the project size. How many pages, which functionalities and features it will have. You'll need more details for a new corporate identity than for a one-page website. It's crucial to be as specific as possible. And the next, objective. More often than not, your client will have no idea about their objective and how a design job can influence them. There are 3 different types of objective. And the target audience, who's this product for? Who's going to use it when and why? It has to be as specific as possible, as designers usually work with personas in mind. And the next, the overall style and look. This is where it gets subjective. The brief needs to include some personal preference, some likes and dislikes. If possible, to over guidance, give a few examples of what sort of look and feel you like, including the relevant links. Budget and timing. Defining the timing and the expected milestone are again to avoid the points of conflict that clear communication can prevent. It can also influence the budget. In any urgent case, pulling in extra resources can be possible but not cheap. And the last, if you're a designer, if you insist on having a brief to start any job, you will get the concrete vision and expectation from the client that can keep you motivated about. Your time and efforts are expensive. Fishing for some kind of information from a potential client might be pointless. A good brief should be concise, clear, and comprehensive if the vision is clear enough. Is not more than 2 pages. So that the final output will be the best possible. We need to encourage and educate about the client and designer to work on better brief to make our life easier and to focus on what's important. Thank you for attention, more or less sorry, and thank you. See you guys.